Tonight, we do have team coverage live from Pittsburgh just an hour ahead of kickoff. We start tonight with ABC 57's Emily Pritchard. She is live for us tonight inside Heinz Field. Emily.
Well, Kim, both teams have already started warming up on the field tonight. We've got Pitt down here farther behind me, and the showdown these teams have been waiting for all week long is about to get underway. Within the next hour, we will cover all of that action for you, including what recent injuries, new key players, and a tough Pittsburgh defense means for tonight's game. Kim, back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Emily. And tonight we continue our team coverage from Pittsburgh. We're about an hour away from kickoff of the Notre Dame Pitt game, and we're not that far away from learning Notre Dame's bowl fate. We continue our team coverage tonight with ABC 57's Emily Pritchard. She joins us live at Heinz Field with where the Irish could land in a bowl game. Emily.
Well, Kim, take a look here. You can see we've still got players warming up on the field behind me, and of course, their focus tonight is the 4 quarters of football they will play here at Heinz Field this evening. But some of the fans in the stands here, or maybe you at home, might be wondering what's in store for the Fighting Irish this postseason. And we've got a look at the latest predictions.
Watching ESPN's presentation of Capital One Bowl Week.
ESPN's Mark Schlabach projects Notre Dame to play in the heart of Dallas Bowl against North Texas. The New Year's Day game is played in the Cotton Bowl, but Brad Edwards at ESPN picks the Irish in the New Era Pinstripe Bowl. This one's not played in the Sun of the South. The Pinstripe Bowl plays on December 28th in Yankee Stadium. A possible opponent here, Brian Kelly's former team, the Cincinnati Bearcats. The Bleacher Report holds a remote chance for Notre Dame to play in the BCS Orange Bowl. If the Blue and Gold get the invitation, the likely opponent would be Florida State. What would you think of a Notre Dame-Ball State matchup? The Bleacher Report says it could happen the day after Christmas on Ford Field in Detroit in the Little Caesars Pizza Bowl. Sports Illustrated thinks Indy will meet Northern Illinois in the Pizza Bowl. But one reason this bowl might not happen, it pays out $500,000 per team, meaning Notre Dame likely declined the invitation because the university would lose money on the deal.
Even in sunny San Diego, the holiday season is about meeting up with old friends.
The most likely bowl bid for Notre Dame, according to the Bleacher Report, is the Poinsettia Bowl in San Diego. Now that's because Army, who has an automatic tie-in with the bowl, has a losing record and won't be bowl eligible. Notre Dame could get an at-large invitation. A possible opponent in the Poinsettia Bowl is Boise State.
Let's go Pitt! Let's go Pitt! And of course, we do have to wait to see the results of tonight's game, the BYU matchup and the Stanford matchup, to see where the Fighting Irish will land in a bowl game and if they do go to one. But leading up to that, we'll of course be waiting to hear, and we can expect that announcement between early to mid-December. Now, up the next half hour, we'll give you an update on former quarterback Everett Golson and when he's expected back to campus. Reporting live from Heinz Field, Emily Pritchard, ABC 57 News.
But tonight, Notre Dame will be led by a different quarterback. ABC 57's Emily Pritchard joins us live tonight from Heinz Field. And Emily, it will be a different matchup since last year's hero is not currently a member of the Irish team.
Well, former quarterback Everett Golson is currently suspended from the university. Last year, fans were praising Golson for the win over Pitt. Now this year, they're talking about his recent interview with Sports Illustrated, where he claims cheating is why he's not here with his former teammates tonight.
It was the dive echoed round the stadium.
I was proud of the team, just coming out and really realizing that, we could get this win.
A 2-point conversion leading the Irish into overtime against Pitt in 2012. Then, in triple overtime, the struggle to the 1-yard line.
I felt that I got in, and I just heard the crowd, cheering and stuff like that.
Out of a dog pile, quarterback Everett Golson emerges with the TD and win.
Yeah, man, we did it and whatnot. And then I was like, maybe 3 seconds later, I'm like, all right, now get me out of here.
Out of that game,
I don't know, baby,
came a 9-0 team, and that, no doubt, added momentum to their undefeated 2012 season, booking their trip to Miami in January.
Really proud, but at the same time, I feel like it's unfinished business.
But the turn of the year wasn't pretty for Notre Dame. The team came face-to-face with Alabama, where they watched a national championship disappear with a 42-14 loss.
That Miami game, it was good being there, but I felt completely embarrassed. And I don't know, that doesn't ride too well with me.
The rough terrain wasn't over just yet.
ABC 57 has just confirmed starting quarterback Everett Golson is no longer enrolled at the university. News breaks a Saturday night in May that Golson was no longer enrolled at the school that he led to the national championship nearly 5 months earlier. And the following day, Golson releases a written statement saying he was suspended for the fall 2013 term due to poor academic judgment. It wasn't until 5 months after his suspension that Golson told Sports Illustrated what really happened.
Basically, I had poor judgment on the test. It wasn't, due to, poor grades or anything like that, but...
Did you cheat on a test? Is that...
Yeah, something like that.
Did you look off somebody? What happened?
I mean, that's what it was. It was, like I said, I'm just going to leave it at poor judgment.
As Notre Dame's summer workouts, fall camp, and the 2013 season passed Golson by, he's on the West Coast working out with quarterback coach George Whitfield.
And it's been ridiculously good for me. I've, kind of changed up a little bit of my mechanics.
Better.
While Golson says he's never had so many mixed emotions watching his former teammates play without him, he says there's no question that he plans to dive back into life at Notre Dame.
My heart was set on going back to Notre Dame. Not necessarily to prove to anybody or just really doing it for me. I felt like that's something that I started. And I didn't want to run away from it and go to a JUCO or go to another school. I was going to, face it.
Brian Kelly says Golson could be back on campus within the next few weeks, and then he can start practicing once final exams are over and he is readmitted to the university. But of course, all the focus tonight is on these players that are here this evening playing tonight's game, and coming up here, smack talk between them leading up into this evening. Reporting live from Heinz Field, Emily Pritchard, ABC 57 News.
Midwestern team, tough, blue collar, physical. They don't seem to, like Notre Dame very much, and they want to beat Notre Dame. I just think it's one of those games where you're going to go in and it's going to be a fight, and we're prepared for that.
And right now, ABC 57's Emily Pritchard is live for us in Pittsburgh on Heinz Field. And Emily, these two teams are really ready for a fight tonight.
No question about it. Depending on who you ask inside this stadium here tonight, they either describe last year's game as heartbreaking or a miracle win. But there's no question that many people inside this stadium are having flashbacks to last year's game, and they have a lot to say about it.
Every game in the last 3 years has been within 7 points.
1 year ago, it came down to threes. The game ended on the goal line in triple overtime, with Notre Dame pulling ahead by 3, 29-26.
Like any person that played 3 overtime, they got to win. I was excited. I was happy. I was, everything went our way.
And Indy knows there was a tad bit of luck on their side.
It's the only game I've ever been in that was 3 overtimes, and it was a nail biter. Down to the very last second. A missed field goal late, in overtime that gave us the ability to come back and score.
Pitt's kicker, Kevin Harper, missed a field goal at the end of the second overtime where they could have won that game.
It was relief, and we got another opportunity to try to get this one, and luckily we were able to get it.
But Pitt rallies and makes the next field goal, but Notre Dame answers with a touchdown. A loss like that can fuel a year's worth of preparation for the rematch. This week, Pitt tight end J.P. Holtz, who scored a touchdown in last year's game, told the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette that he just doesn't like Notre Dame at all and thinks they're cocky. And there's no question the result of last season's game at Notre Dame Stadium is motivation for the Panthers. But for the Irish, they say they know what's coming.
I just know it's always going to be a fight, against Pitt.
They take us down to the wire every year.
The Irish say they always hear a lot of chatter about themselves.
The trash talk, we hear it all the time, but just adds fuel to the fire, and we're ready to go.
But at the end of the day, it's all in the preparation.
That's our goal, to be better this week than we were last week.
And at this point in the season, the Fighting Irish are dealing with a lot of injuries. And that has them really testing head coach Brian Kelly's philosophy of the next man in. ABC 57's Emily Evans joins us on the other side of the end zone inside Heinz Field tonight. And Emily, who is stepping into these new roles?
Emily, what are the keys to tonight's game?
know it is November, and at this point in the season, Notre Dame is just striving to, frankly, play better football this evening. Now, the Irish are coming into tonight's game on a 4-game winning streak, but of course, the defense is plagued with a number of injuries. So the players are adopting head coach Brian Kelly's next man in policy, and of course, we'll have to see if some of those less experienced guys can really step up tonight. Now, Kelly said this week offensively, he thinks they're off to a pretty good rhythm, but boy, do they have a big challenge in facing Pitt's big physical D-line tonight. And the players tell us that it's tonight comes down to all about sticking to their assignment.
You know, for us, understanding that, going out there and executing Saturday and, taking it one play at a time and just, moving forward. If something, stalls for us, we got a big play waiting. We just got to keep executing.
And it's not like Pitt is going to let Notre Dame walk in here and run away with a win. They are thirsty for a win tonight, coming off of a 2-game losing streak. And of course, they have a horrible taste left behind after last year's triple overtime loss to Notre Dame. Reporting live from Heinz Field, Emily Pritchard, ABC 57 News. Well, things did not go as planned last night here for the Fighting Irish. After a number of interceptions, losing a big defensive player to the targeting rule, and other mistakes, head coach Brian Kelly says you just can't win football games that way, especially in November.
It was frustrating. It was mad. Like, no one's happy. Like, you know that you made mistakes and cost us a game.
A frustrating night at Heinz Field for the Irish. One of the biggest blows early on, Stephon Tuitt gets a targeting call in the start of the second quarter and is ejected from the game.
Losing to it to the defense is a big difference. It's a big hole to fill.
Things still seemed right for Notre Dame when the team went into the locker room up 14-7 at the half. But it was the Panthers celebrating the second time around.
We made mistakes. They didn't. We, didn't execute when we needed to, and they did. Point blank period, and they won the game.
In the third, Pitt ties it up as James Conner rushes for a 2-yard touchdown. Notre Dame answers with this long one from Tommy Reese to TJ Jones, who picks up the speed and runs it in to get those points on the board. Towards the end of the third, Pitt decides they're going to win this one on home turf.
It's just little mistakes here and there that, build up and make a big difference in the game.
Quarterback Tom Savage finds Devin Street, who takes it down the stretch and in for the TD. That ties it back up at 21. The fourth picks up, just not for Notre Dame.
Obviously, the turnover issue. We can't turn the ball over like that, and I take accountability for that and responsibility. And when you put your defense in compromising situations like that, it's hard for your defense to make stops.
Reese's pass is intercepted by Ray Vinipal. Pitt doesn't capitalize on that drive. Irish ball, and again it falls into enemy territory as Vinipal nabs another interception. This time, Pitt gets a touchdown and the lead, which caps off the final score 28-21. As head coach Brian Kelly and the team head home for a bye week, some say it's a good thing after that loss.
I think it'd be better to have a bye week. A lot of people, we just gotta. Kind of people are banged up, heal, study film, and then just regroup and take that time to ourselves and just think, just change overall lives.
And a number of Irish players told me they are going to start watching film today. That way they can start fixing those mistakes and get ready for their next matchup. And that is in 2 weeks due to a bye week, and they are going to face BYU, and that will be senior night. Reporting from Heinz Field, Emily Pritchard, ABC 57 News.